Let's do it.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to Sam and anyone else over the pond there. Welcome to week 2 of Rapid Implementation Workshop, number 37 we're on. So we are going to start off, as always, with who had some wins for the week.
Hey, we haven't actually had any wins yet, but I'm so excited that after running our first little email campaign, we have gotten 8 different appointments set up that are just now taking place. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well done.
That's a win. That's a win.
What I thought. They haven't signed yet. That's the next thing. So, yeah.
That was the hardest
which
part.
email? Which email was it?
It was the one that we did while we were at the accelerators meeting, and the one we chose to do it on was about security and some email processes in that with what was going on in like Office 365 and so forth.
Nice.
Perfect. There you go. Nice little cross-sell email there and 8 appointments. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Go on
then. Well, we had an appointment yesterday, went well, so we're gonna submit a proposal. Hopefully that works out for a construction company.
Perfect.
I feel like we're all over the place, but
it's going good.
It's going good. And I was able to get Randy in a little segment in the news in a Hispanic broadcasting station. So that was exciting.
To give security tips.
For security tips.
Cool. Excellent.
And then, our other, what is it? Client that we got, Eva?
Oh yeah, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Anybody else with some wins for the week?
Well, yeah, just to follow up on mine from last week, both those appointments I closed yesterday. So I'm just waiting for them to send over the signed contracts.
Perfect. How much you get for that then, Brian?
In total, about $3,500 a month.
Perfect. That's not a bad start, for a couple of days' work.
Not at all.
Nope. Cool. Well done. Excellent news. Okay, so Brian's the man to beat. Who else has got some wins?
I do.
Jay, go ahead.
I did the QBRs and I've had 7 appointments. I've still got 8 scheduled. Got 3 after this one, but I've had success with all of them. Upsold most of them to some of our other managed service offerings, monitoring. So we've had a lot of success with just a few QBRs that we've done so far. But like I said, I've got 8 more scheduled this week. So it's hard to keep up with all of those.
Perfect. So what do you got a ballpark on new additional MRR from those?
I'm working on trying to calculate it. But it's quite a bit. It's not huge, but it all adds up. So I'm working on trying to find out that number for sure.
Perfect. Cool. Okay. Anybody else with some wins? James, you got one? Or are you just waving at us? One of the two.
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've also had a lot of QBRs, and every QBR has gotten at least a little something. So in one case, it was switching somebody over to Office 365 mail from their really cruddy other mail. All of this has added up to just a few $100s, not really a lot, but I'm most excited about a referral that I got from a QBR that I'm going on tomorrow, which is a tremendous opportunity, and that will be in the $2,500 to $3,000 range. We got a really great shot at getting this because they need to be rescued, and I'm being brought in by somebody that's a client that loves us. So, fingers crossed.
Awesome. And so, I mean, one thing as well, I mean, don't ever put it down that it was only a low amount, because anything is a win, and it all adds up over time. But when you're switching people from those old systems to newer, more modern systems, it indirect cost is saving you a lot of time and a lot of work as well, because you don't have to support those things. Yeah, it's not just direct increases, but sometimes indirect costs go straight to your bottom line there as well. So cool, some great wins. Anybody else with some wins? Jeremy, you got your hand
somebody
up.
we'd written up.
Oh, somebody else was speaking then.
Hi. Yeah, so there's a couple of ones. We've got the kind of verbal go ahead for an on-site contract for a customer for a couple of days a week, which I think is about $1,600 a month.
Cool.
And then I went to see a customer yesterday that has 10 users, but it turns out they're part of a company that's 1,800 users, and they are kind of like, I mean, this company didn't even have antivirus on their computers. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they're in a bit of dire need for things. And then we've also just entered into basically a proof of concept for RMM. They're trialing 500 servers, and they've got 27,000 machines that they might potentially roll it out to. So,
perfect.
Yeah, so hopefully that will come off. That'll be a nice win to have.
That will be a very nice win, yes. Yeah, we just had one of our client coaches. He's a Better Your Best finalist, Will Nobles, is about to close $116,000 a month deal. They got like 11 locations and 800 employees. So, yeah, you got some big ones up there, but cool. I wish you the best on that one. Keep us updated.
Thank you.
Somebody else was going to speak earlier on as well. Who was that? Gary, was that you?
It wasn't, but it is now.
Okay.
I had over the weekend one of my clients, long-term client, their mom, sorry, the business owner is the mom of a top 10 pop star, and she got hacked over the weekend on her email, and mom got affected. So they want me to implement a lot more security at their business now. So we're going to be bumping that up, and sent them some quotes on that for is one. And another one, while I was doing the interview with a client for our tasks,
yeah.
which by the way was great. I found it really useful and really enjoyed the process.
Cool.
I found and uncovered some things they needed when we were asking some of the questions where their pain points were, and that came in very handy.
Awesome. Well done. Some good wins. Any more wins? Kelly, you got one.
We had a client we'd written off, I guess a proposal we'd sent out, and they were adamant they didn't need managed services. They didn't need any help other than fix our network that goes down every day. So we gave them a quote for that, and it was definitely a quote that made their eyes kind of bug out a bit, but there was a lot of work that was needed. We kept getting like follow-up brush-offs. So by the time we went to the implementation, we'd said, okay, they're done. But we added them to our list of, let's do a 9-word follow-up. Did the follow-up, I guess, at the implementation. And then by the time we got back, we had an appointment request or a request to now quote for managed services and help desk. And then kind of they got a little weak on it again. And started this week, I guess they reached out again, and now we're going in on Wednesday to quote for 20 seats.
Perfect. Yeah. Tell them to stop putting it off because it's causing them downtime and problems, and they just need to make a decision.
If only it were that easy.
Do it. They won't regret it. Tell them. Cool. Anybody else with some wins? We had some good wins today.
Hey, Mark, I want to tell everyone why this is important, why these wins are important. First of all, a win is anything that is forward motion, that's taking you somewhere where you weren't before. So it may not be a signed check for $116,000 a month, but it is forward motion. And at some point, one of you may say on this call, well, you know, all this stuff is happening, but I can't attribute it to any particular campaign. And Debbie and Mark can attest to the fact that we hear that frequently. But what has happened is there is a sort of subtle change in your mindset. Number one, you're hearing what all is going on here, and at some point, pretty quick, there's going to be a lot of synergy developed, and this snowball is just going to start rolling down the hill. Well, it affects you in ways you may not know right now. So at some point, if you start to think, well, yeah, we're getting more calls, we're getting more business, what's going on? And you can't attribute it to a campaign, just attribute it to the process and mindset.
It is.
So,
it's all about mindset. That's what Robin covered on that first morning. And Rich says you were switching focus from ops over to managing and growing the business and getting more sales and doing more marketing. And by doing that, you're putting out a different persona, a different energy, and synergy, as Rich says. So keep up the wins. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping for you now. So I am going to share my screen, and you can see that we have the 30-day contest deadline is up on Monday, March the 23rd. So we got a few things to go on here. We've done the 9-word email, as you've heard. It's very successful. Kelly's got one, a couple of other people. Cross-sell promotion, you heard that earlier on as well from some couple of people on that one working. We're on the target market. We're finishing that off next week, and we'll go into that later on, is testimonials. And then the week after is the USP and X reasons. They're your 4 foundations for the marketing that we're going to be doing. Get you going after that. The one you have to do yourself is the list building. So what's the deep dive there on how to build a starter list? Once you've got those going, and let's see how people are doing on here. 9-word email, cross-sell, target market. Some people need to check some boxes because I'm pretty sure that you've done these things. Although I do want to remind everyone again, because I'm seeing it now as we're on here, the importance of being on camera for these calls, being in an office and paying attention and focusing just on this. So no emails, no other distractions. Do this. We're asking for an hour and a half of your time a week. We see it time and time again. The people that don't come on the camera, the people that don't take part, the people that don't have any wins, the people that don't do all this checklist are the people that don't make any progress and really suffer as a result of it. So you've all joined the course. You all really wanted to grow your business. You all wanted to be successful and achieve your dreams. This is going to do it for you, okay? These 12 weeks doing just these checklist items, getting each one done, doing it really, really well, and do it consistently and keep going, they will make a huge difference to your business. I promise you that they will do that. We don't have to do anything else fancy. We just need to do the 30 and the 90-day checklist and do it well and do it consistently. And they're going to make a big difference. So some of you, if you've got blanks here, I'm starting to see a trend after 2 weeks already. I'm seeing, and this is based on experience from all these times. So get yourself on the camera, get these things done, get the homework done, get the checklist off. And if you have an issue in any way, shape, or form, reach out to Coach at technologymarketingtoolkit.com. There's the email's on here like 15 times on the front page, so you can't miss it at all. Coach at technologymarketingtoolkit.com. But Rich, Debbie, and I really want you to reach out the minute you have an issue, the minute you're struggling with something, not 8, 9, 10 weeks time, and we find out that you've been saying yes, everything's fine, and then it hasn't been fine, and you haven't been making any progress, and now we've got to get you all caught up again. So as soon as you start having any problems, as soon as you get any issues at all with the homework, with the checklist, with whatever it is, reach out to Coach at, and we will figure it out, and we'll get you back on track. But I don't even want you to skip 1 week. So if you're having trouble, next week with testimonials, put the homework in, do your homework. Rich will give you some feedback, and then ask questions on the call, okay? Or reach out to Coach at, and we'll figure it out for you. But the trouble with testimonials, don't start telling us in week 9 that you had trouble with testimonials. Tell us in week 2 or week 3 that you got trouble with testimonials, okay? So I need to stress that, because we need to get you back on track the minute you start struggling. We need to help you and get you going so you don't lose the momentum. So please keep up with the checklists. There's small chunks to do each week, as you've been finding out so far. But yeah, just please keep going with the checklist. Anybody having any issues with the 30-day checklist so far? Are we all okay? Sam?
Hi, Mark. Just to check, so the homework that we're going to do now, is that going to be the testimonial homework, or the target market and the 33 questions? Or was
Homework
that last
is
week?
testimonial. The last week, so what we show you on the queue is week 2, target market, due February the 21st for the call on the 25th. So you had to post it by the 21st for me to review for today's call, okay? And when we post the week 3, although I think Debbie posted week 3, okay, week 3 testimonials due by February the 28th, this Friday, okay? So that we've got the call next week, but Rich has got to take all these and redo them. So he's working over the weekend, and on Monday ready for a call on Tuesday. So the homework is always going to be, you need to do the homework this week, ready for next week's call, and have it posted, because this is an implementation workshop. So it's a great question, actually, Sam. So this is an implementation workshop. And so what we do is we set you homework this week for you to watch the video or do whatever it is. You post your first attempt at it, and we will give you feedback and help you so you can do the fine tune. And then that one's checked off. You know, when we do the USP, you're going to be working on your USP, and you're going to say, my USP is this. And I'm going to say, hey, Sam, maybe tweak this and do that and do that. And you go, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Oh, and I've had another idea, I'll do that. Check that box off. I'm done with that now. So it's done and dusted, not, oh, I'll get round to that. You see, that's why we get you to do it, and then we review it on the call. So it's done, not I'm going to do it. Okay. And
so I might be a week behind then.
Yeah, you can get caught up though.
Thank you.
Don't worry, you can get caught up.
Hey, Mark, had a quick question on the QBR, on the cross-sell promotion thing on the 30-day checklist. As you know, my last MSP, that ran for 20 years, but this brand new one I just launched 2 weeks ago, we have 0 clients starting from scratch. What would you suggest I do for, how does that apply to me, the cross-sell?
You don't, you can check it off, because you can't do it until next quarter. But what I want you to do is have a system. So what I want you to do is have a process and a system that you are doing that, okay? We'll cover it later on in the custom 12-month marketing plan, which, Scott, you were at the roadshow when I did that last time. You know that you've got it in there in those different months. I just want to make sure that you've got it. It's in here, the cross-sell and the QBRs, for most people are not brand new starting off like you are, so they need to do it. I just need to know that you're going to get it done. But in your case, you can check it off for the purpose of this.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Anybody else? We're all good. Okay. Next one, boot camp. Who's not registered for boot camp?
I'm not.
Why not?
So we just launched the business, and we just went to the February show. It's just expenses, watching, pouring money into growing the business, but just didn't want to spend the money to come out again, within 2 months of having been in there.
I'm going to, so first of all, I'm going to disagree. You came to the roadshow, so you saw what the roadshow was
I
like.
did, yeah, twice in the
Yeah,
last 6 months. Yep.
yeah. So you saw the roadshow. This is like the, I don't know, the Ferrari of the roadshow. This is like 10,000 times better. And here's the difference. We've got some great sessions. You know, huge brand new sessions from Robin. As well as from people like us. I'm doing 3 sessions throughout boot camp as well. We've got people like George Foreman. We got Jocko Wilnick from who's an ex-Navy SEAL, etc. So a lot of business growth stuff. But here's the main thing for attending in person versus attending virtual. So if you really can't do it, Scott, and finances, then click on the attending virtual, because you'll get the live stream, you'll get the recording.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm going to say is, as well as you've seen the vendors that you saw at the roadshow, multiply that by 3. Okay, so you've got a lot more vendors there going to be there. You know, probably 70, 80 vendors that we've got there throughout for you to talk to. But here's the biggest thing: there are going to be at least 700 Producers Club and Accelerators Club members, okay? Split roughly 50-50, so about 350 of each, ballpark. You've got all those people just like you, just like everybody else here, that are trying to grow their business, trying to make it a success, have paid for both Accelerators or Producers Club, which is even more per month, that are all sharing the same ideas and success and everything else. You get to speak to those people. You know, you get to learn, you get to ask questions. 350 Producers Club members, you go around looking for the guys with the red badges and ask them questions, especially how to get your brand new business off the ground and how to fast grow it. And trust me, the very first boot camp I went to, I went up to I was a brand new Producers Club member. We didn't have accelerators. I went in, I walked up to one guy and I said, hey, can you help me? I'm struggling with this. And he without a millisecond of hesitation, he said, yeah, what you need to do is X, what, hang on, give me your email address. I'll get to them to send, I'll get my assistant to send over our campaigns, our PowerPoint, our telemarketing scripts, this, and that. Without a millisecond of hesitation, he gave me all that stuff. And that's what you get in this community that you don't get anywhere else. And that's what you don't get by attending virtual. So I wouldn't look at it as an expense. I'd look at it as an investment, because for the 1,000, 1,500 you're going to pay for the hotel and the flight, you're going to get back. I used to track this when I was in Producers Club. I used to track my revenue from ideas I got at Producers Club. You get so many ideas because you sit down at breakfast, at lunch with different people. I always make a point of sitting with somebody I've never met before and talk to them. I was at a Producers Club meeting once, and I remember I got a Genius of the Month or something from it, or I mentioned in the newsletter, but I sat next to, actually it was Tom Malesic that Rich used to work for, Better Your Best finalist. We were having breakfast, we were talking, and Victoria Myers came over and she was showing Tom this new thing she was doing. And I was fascinated by it. And I said to her, can I steal that idea? She said, yeah, here, have this and have that. I took it back, I tweaked it, because we always improve anything that we're given. I made $36,000 the next week from that idea at breakfast.
That's awesome. A lot of nuggets, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Always, because there's 700 of us out there all trying to do this, all doing Robin's marketing, all doing all this stuff, all doing the aspirin, all doing the bad date, all doing the drip marketing, all doing webinars and seminars and telling you how to grow your business, all dealing with hiring employees, managing employees. And difficult customers. They're the best source of information you can ever have. Trust me.
No, I appreciate the clarification, Mark, because I'll definitely revisit the trip. In my head, it was very similar to what the last, 3 events, the one in LA, and then in the summertime, and then the 2 in Franklin. So I wasn't had clarity on what the difference was above and beyond those.
It's huge difference. Yeah. Really is.
Thank you.
Perfect. So everybody else, if you haven't, I recommend that you click attended in person. And even if you've got a last minute change of plan, it's much easier to drop down to virtual than it is to to get put at. Rich is finalizing table planning and everything else in the next week or two as well. So we get you all sitting in groups. You're at the front of the half of the room, not in the back half, and there's extra things that you get as an Accelerators Club member, such as the party on Friday night. So everybody can do that, but you get lots of meets and greets. But just meeting all fellow IT MSP business owners is a huge value. Wouldn't you say, Rich? You're muted, sir.
Yes, I agree. James, you have a question? No, you're muted too.
There we go. I know it wasn't working. What I can't seem to put my hands on is where you guys had posted where you can book a hotel room that I think that the event is in. And I know
okay. So
really
when you click attending in person or whatever and click the RSVP form, it would pop up a new page with the link. I did
that like weeks ago.
You should have had it in the email. The link should have been in the email that you were sent as well.
Mark, actually, it's still on this page, I believe. Isn't it? After you submit, doesn't it still pop up?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also here. Click here to access all hotel booking
above the
links.
map. Above the map. Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to go down and find it.
All right.
But it's down.
What link
right
was
there.
that?
It was your RSVP under Accelerators. Go to your Accelerators Club tab. And then 2020 Boot Camp.
RSVP. This film
should be.
I see it.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
We make it as hard as possible to find.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
It's a test. Okay. Awesome. And so now we are going to move on to the target market, which is what we all came for in the first place. So we posted our 33 questions. I want to quickly jump down a second so I am going to come back to James and that in a minute. But I was going through these earlier on, and I am going to pick on Jim because this was a good example of a client or prospect answering the 33 questions. And you learned some new stuff, Jim, while you were talking to this person, because a couple of things that Jim had put on. So this one, what are the top 3 events? He thought that it was hacker, data breach, unresolved system crashes, loss of confidence, etc. But she said they weren't feeling good about response time, feeling the IT vendor doesn't care about her business. So if he'd gone out with a marketing message, hey, you're worried about hacking or data breach or system, she wouldn't have said that's right or that's me. So now his message is more along the lines of response time. There was a couple of other ones in here, and we're seeing this a lot. You see, we're seeing response time coming up a couple of times. So we know that for this particular market, especially this particular client that speak to 2, 3, 4, 5 prospects, if you keep getting this same message, then you know that response time is one of the things that you have to factor in that USP. One of the things in your marketing message that you've got to be really, really good at, and you've got to be better than everyone else. So 30 minutes response time is not going to be good enough. You're going to be looking, if this is sort of their number one that's coming up, then it might have to be a 5-minute response time and put systems in place. Now that's going to cost you more, but you can charge more because it's obviously important to them. Okay, so if you're getting a lot of people telling you that, there's another great one. She shared that some of her peers believe that the only reason we sell backup to them is for the money, and that they should be relying on the cloud, which is already secure. Yeah. And she's also shared that the doctor is very conservative and wants to feel safe. So huge important information here. I can do so much. So you've got a whole marketing message out there and education on why they need backups, and we don't just do it for the money. Why, even if you are in the cloud, that still needs to be backed up. Except you've got a whole load of education just from this one thing. I mean, there was so much gold in here. It really was a great response, which is why I wanted to go to it first. Yeah. And their biggest frustrations that they have. personnel, training, hiring, losing something, dealing with regulations and compliance, dealing with the EHR software company, having regulations, security practices slow down workflow, secure email is frustrating to use, difficulty opening zip files from the research partners, possible pain point for researchers. So again, he's got a whole load of things here, nothing to do with cybersecurity and everything. This was their frustrations. Now, Jim's got to figure out, can I help them in any way? Yeah. Can I sort of work with an agency for training and hiring somebody and clip the ticket on that? So it's not necessarily stuff that you do, but it's stuff that you can provide your clients or put into your plans that you can, you know, A, make some money, but B, make you more sticky again. You know, can you do something about the EHR software? Can I deal with it rather than they have to deal with it? Yeah. And can I work on the system with them? And again, can I speed up this secure email? Can I find a better secure email? Can I find a way that this works? Can I open zip files up better? How can I get rid of these frustrations for them? And there's going to be a gold mine for you here. Yeah.
And Mark, that's really good. That's really good information to really highly customize your free report.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
you know, you could build a free report just on the top 3 frustrations that they have here, and really, you know, dig deep into it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one, that's why I wanted to go to this one first, because when I went through and looked at it, it was just pure gold all the way through. There's thousands of little golden nuggets in here that we can see straight away. You know, so what are they trying to solve the problems before? They try and do it usually not successful. Yeah. This usually happens when they come in earlier than we open. So again, we got to have different business hours, don't we? So that we can be ready for them. And again, your competitors don't know this. And so you're going to have this competitive advantage that we work your hours. We know you know, you work early and stay late. Yeah. Key frustrations. She covered them above, but would like us to have additional tech in the works. Okay, so you've got it in the works, but you know, they want some extra service. How do they buy you? You know, they've got their inner circle. So that's what, you know, you're trying to find this inner circle. I want to know who these people are. I'm going to be influencing those guys. They're going to be getting, we'll cover it in drip marketing later on, but that inner circle is getting my print newsletter. Trust me, they are getting everything I can deliver. I'll get them free reports. I'll invite them to webinars, seminars, everything, because they're influential on these. Yeah. What's the biggest benefit that you deliver to them? And again, it's response time. That's the 3rd time in this document. We're only on question 13, and that's the 3rd time response time has come up. Yeah. You can see the difference between them answering these questions for you and you answering, because I could have told you that had Jim answered these himself, he would be on a totally different track to all this about technical and security and all sorts of things. So it's so critical to have this information. Now, not just from one, you've got to gather it from more, but you can see why this is so important. If you get this gold from one person, you can imagine what you're going to get from 5 people on there. Yeah. People are selling them by, yes.
I have a question. So is this a questionnaire that we send to them, or that we do it with them over the phone or in person?
I would do it either in person is preferable, or over the phone with them on there.
And these are the 33 questions?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
they were the second half of the target market worksheet we gave you, like page 6 onwards. Yeah.
Right. So this is to help you refine your USP for your target market.
Yes, and to provide some packages and services as well. Not just the USP, but you know, there's some packages and services in there. As I was saying, they were highlighting things about
response time.
Well, not response time so much, but personnel, hiring, managing, training. Now, I don't want to get into that game, but if I've got 20 medical practices or law firms, oh no, this is HIPAA, so medical. If I've got 20 medical practice clients, I'm going to find, and I know that this is a common frustration of theirs. I'm going to go and partner up with a training or an agency, a staffing agency, recruiting agency, or training agency to provide that service and clip the ticket. I'm going to go to them and say, hey, I got 20 clients. You know, I'll bring them to you. We'll do a joint venture. I'll put you on stage in front of all these people. You give me 10% of everything that they buy on a recurring basis. Yeah, or let me white label it. Yeah.
Right. So this is better to do with current customers.
You can
rather
do
than
it with, I mean,
prospects?
if you've got current customers, you certainly want to do it with those people, but also prospects as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Just
Perfect.
so you guys know, she spent almost an hour on the phone with me to do this.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people will,
went
you
really
know,
deep.
especially with prospects, they will spend that time, but you probably want a good hour with a prospect, which is why, I mean, you can do it over the phone. I like the face-to-face, take them for a cup of coffee, be in that relaxed sort of Starbucks, buy them a couple of Danishes or whatever. Not necessarily lunch. You can do lunch if you wanted to, but for prospects and clients, I would do that because they are giving up a lot of their time for you as well.
I found a way that I'm really comfortable with to ask for this, and that is, it's almost 100% true. But I said, I'm taking a marketing class, and I have to do some research. Would you be willing to help me with it?
I used the same excuse. It worked very well. I said I needed homework for marketing class.
I'm doing the same thing with mine and no one's objected. And then on top of it, I mean, we have a bit of an advantage because we're new, but we're just warping this right into our onboarding process because why wouldn't I ask these questions to every single new customer as they come on?
I was thinking the same, at least a subset of these questions.
Right.
Sure. Great
Mark,
ideas in there.
So Mark, I basically emailed out sort of a subset of 10 questions, which I think you've probably received as well, to all of the attendees who were on the UK Rapid Implementation Workshop.
Yeah.
I haven't had any response yet because I just sent it out. But, you know, hoping that they do. And then if they do, then maybe I'll grab some 5 minutes with them to delve in deeper, since my target market is you basically you guys, MSPs.
Yeah. So another thing that you can do, you know, if you are reaching out, especially to prospects or people, and they have given up some time with you, send them, if you didn't take them to, you know, Starbucks or whatever for a Danish or Greg's in your case, Sam, then yeah, I'd go to Greg's. You can take me to Greg's anytime. But, you know, send them a thank you gift card, even if it's like a $10, you know, gift card or something like that. Send them a thank you card because they did spend a lot of time answering the questions. So do that. But there was some great ideas there of how to get people, prospects, etc., to help you with that.
For one of mine, I uncovered something they needed, one of their major pain points, and I told them as a gift I would spend time for them on researching it and come up with some solutions, which I did.
Perfect. I will cover that a bit later on, but yeah, that's a good way of doing that. So just going back to this, people are dropping off market materials and they receive things by mail. Sometimes their personal contacts will give them some unsolicited advice. We've got all the government stuff that they want. Her exact words, what trends are going on? Everything is going virtual. Virtual appointments using iPad or similar for remote medical treatment. They find this difficult to deal with as risk prescribing without seeing a patient in person, but they think it's useful for bedridden patients outside their geo area, etc. New direct messaging applications between doctors and insurance, but they are cumbersome. So again, there's some things that Jerry, you need to work on with them to, sorry, Jim, not Jerry, to work on with them on how you can help them, you know, improve these things. Local conferences. So again, you want to go where they go. Key influential people that you are running short of time on that. You've got the different associations. So again, you need to belong to all those associations. Yeah, and start doing keynote speeches and just educational stuff for them. Don't sell, just educate. Yeah, and you'll build a good reputation. They try to do the same themselves. Oops, wrong way. So they use social media. They use LinkedIn SIPs, which is a peer database for that. So LinkedIn is where Jim needs to hang out, not Twitter, not Instagram, all those places, just a waste of time for him. They get paid by third-party insurance, Medicare, etc. Medicare is the trendsetter that the others follow. There's the critical applications, and then KPIs they pay most attention to. Making sure that doctors, that all calls are answered, all prescriptions are delivered. She did mention the doctor can see about 30 patients a day and the others 10 to 15. She did say the research of the business makes a lot more dollars than the actual medical practice, but it was not steady or reliable, so they have to have the practice too. So again, I'm still looking for the future. How can I help them make that part of their business more profitable, you know, more stable, more etc. What are they angry about? Are the doctors not being supportive? Regulations, socialized Medicare, dealing with insurance companies that don't care about patients. Can I do anything there? What are they most afraid of? Security, crazy patients, not liking what they are reacting badly, and bad online reviews. Yeah. So we've got some great information in here, ready for your USP, ready for new packages, new products, new services. And that's just from one client. And you know, you get 5 or 6 of those, you're going to get a lot of great information. This combined with the testimonials that you've got, embedding in the testimonials, response time also comes up a lot in there as well. So I mean, this is why we do this exercise. I don't want you to think of come up with all the answers. I want your clients to tell you what you do well and what they need and what they like about you. So between the 33 questions and then the other things, you know, it works well there. You're going to get those answers. So that was a good one. Now I'm going to go back up to the top to James. So James, yours was Australian aged care industry. You've got a whole load of questions answered here as well. They're going from paper-based to digital, moving to the cloud, CCTV with their aged care homes due to security and staffing. So you can either build that department up yourself in-house, or again, you can partner with somebody, an outsourced company, and start providing that service. And that might be, as we sort of saw a bit later on in here, that could be often your foot in the door to get you going. Don't try and sell managed services straight away. You can sell, you know, start marketing for the CCTV stuff and security there, and then add that later on, okay? So those are the things that they're asking. Most IT people are awkward, introverted, and strange. However, our team and services have broken the mold. They've got frustrations again with staffing, dealing with the agency, the governing body, and dealing with unreliable systems and technology. So again, we're back to staffing and training and managing their staff. Everybody has this issue. So can you find somebody that can help them with that? And you're doing that. You're assisting with C. What are we? How would your ideal target describe their frustrations or dissatisfactions? We provide a single point of contact. How do they buy your services? The CEO is making those, but the facility managers can purchase as well. So you are looking maybe, you know, if it was under $500, these facility managers. So again, it could be a small system, foot in the door, and target these people, and then upsell after that when you're in there. Yeah. And then I'm going to, we got agencies, we got their line of business applications. They get paid. In short, residents buy a room in the care home, and they collect the money back. So they also receive some other funding from the government and streaming media, outings, etc., which is where the resident needs to pay for. They got the databases, we got their revenue. wound and medication management and spending on food and other resident services are their KPI. So, I don't know what you can do with the wound and medication management side of things, but can you do something to manage and reduce their spending on food and other services? Can you bring somebody else in? Is there a line of business at? Can you get somebody to write that thing? Can you just do it with Excel spreadsheets and train them? But there's some KPIs there that you can possibly help with, and they're angry at the agency and the Royal Commission. Can you do anything about that in there?
Are they actually telling you what they're angry about?
I don't know if he asked them that.
Okay, but these questions, there are 33 questions. I guess when you ask them, you're not using the actual language in the question here, because that's more to us. You just have to turn around and make it
Yes,
client, right?
Yeah. I mean, at the 2-day thing, a couple of questions I asked them that where you get those type of answers is, I usually say to them, what do you like about my industry? So not me, my company, because that's too personal. What do you like about my industry, the IT industry? What do you dislike about my industry? Okay, so then it's not really attacking me, it's everybody in general. And then I ask them, what do you love about your industry? And then what do you dislike about your industry? And that's where those frustrations will come from, yeah?
And are those questions in there?
Well, no,
Or do
I
you
did
tweak
cover
them?
it on the 2-day workshop, and they're sort of in there that, their frustrations, which we covered somewhere or other, there was frustrations in here. Key frustrations, problems, and disappointments they have in there, and then towards the end with the what are they most afraid of, and what are they angry at,
right?
At some of the things in there. So I just tend to ask it in one big question to get all that information. Once you've got people start talking to you, see, this is all about them. It's not about us. So you're asking all the questions about them. You will be surprised when you get somebody starting to talk about you, that they start peeling back the layers of the onions, and you really get a lot of great useful information in there.
Okay, so we can customize. We can customize the questions.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Whatever it is to get those answers from you, from them even. So Greg had an interview. He's got another one for yesterday. He obviously didn't do that. So their main focus is automotive warranties and lemon law. So this is a law firm. You've got their current market size. They have a web presence, but they don't use it for marketing. The first question they ask is, what's your hourly rate? They want to know if they'll be taken care of. They got hiring, data transport, and data sharing is their frustration. So that's like 3 in a row we've just looked at, and hiring and staffing, training and management are big frustrations. You're starting to see this across. So we all have these frustrations. They have these frustrations. I know it's not technology, but can you provide that service? No other MSP is providing that service because they don't know about it. And this has been number one. Out of the top 3, hiring and staffing and training has been the number 1 on each of those things. It's critical to them. Can you do something about that? Okay, can you find somebody to help these people that specializes in these people on there? You heard Peter last week talking about his JV seminars where he had all these people up on stage, and he didn't do anything really other than facilitate it all and get them together. This is what you could be doing here again at the same time. You're building a reputation. So again, that even if they don't need IT services straight away, if you introduce them to other people that are helping them when they do need these services, you're the person they're going to go to, because you're in front of them, you're talking to them, and you're helping them, and you get them. Yeah, okay, you're the only technology person that understood that they had a big frustration with hiring or staffing, etc. Yeah.
So quick question. Sorry, guys. Just question 1: who is most likely to buy? Does that mean who is the person in their organization that's most likely to buy? Is that what that
No,
means?
this one, you would have really answered this one yourself. Who's most likely to buy if you didn't know? So what we're trying to do now is, who's most likely to buy, get you that foot in the door? Is it going to be the practice manager? Is it going to be the CEO? Who's the one that's most likely to buy, and who's involved? Okay, for those type of things.
So who's the decision maker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did cover it earlier on in the earlier part of the target market, but it's really just reaffirming that when you start speaking to people or whoever your clients you're dealing with.
Okay.
So where do we get to? You're using Ignite so that you maintain. So again, can you do more with that? How would your ideal target describe their frustrations? They would like to be able to share data confidently across many locations. So there's a service you need to come up with for those people. What are their key frustrations again? They have occasional frustration with the phone system vendor and the internet provider. They purchased Office 365 AV and consulting time. Can you turn that into sort of more of a managed services? You're offering a big benefit. We can cover the USP later. Are you doing innovation or commodity? And the key is you need to be doing innovation. So you've got to have an innovation. Otherwise, if you're a commodity, you're just competing on price. Who else is selling to them and how are they selling it? They haven't had inquiries in recent memory. So nobody else is selling to them. So if you start marketing to all these people and nobody else is going to them, then you're going to be cleaning up again and get a much bigger market share there. Yeah. So what trends are going on in the industry? Litigation from similar sized firms charge more and provide junior attorneys. And so is there something you can help them with there? They didn't have any key influential people. They've got some associations. So again, you need Michigan Bar, American Bar, Lemon Law. Can you join any of these places or can you be in their publications and things like that again? Are they web technology savvy? No. Social media is LinkedIn. So again, don't be on Twitter and Facebook. These guys are all on LinkedIn. So be on LinkedIn. How do they get paid? They get billed. They get paid based on the hours billed on a case. So again, you got to make sure that they can always be working on the cases whenever they need to, because that's how they get billed. They get billed for their professional services by the hour. So part of your USP, etc., is we can increase this by reducing your downtime or responding quickly to any issues you have. Critical apps that they've got, KPIs is billable hours on a case again. They're angry about, they're not angry about anything, which I find strange. But they're afraid of losing their case and not being communicated with from client standpoint. So they're looking at better communication and can you make that easier for them to communicate with their, and your fastest inroad is Office 365 licenses for these guys. Mirari, I'm going to start going through these a bit quicker now so that we've got, you're doing healthcare. We got 3 to 5 most important factors: strategic partner, high uptime, security, also on answers for question 5, how proactive. Was this answered by them or was it answered by you?
It was answered by both.
Okay, I'm seeing some things in here that I think they wouldn't have said, and I think you focused too much on the technology and cybersecurity instead of going answer. You can see the type of answers Jim was getting, and they were not really technical or technology. I think you answered some of these on their behalf, and as I said, we have a sixth sense for this, so you might want to reach out to some more.
Well, it's because I picked a whole new target market and we just closed the account with them. So
Right.
we just went to like we didn't get a chance to talk to the doctor, so we talked to the assistant.
Right.
And yeah, the answers were like really short.
Vague.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit hard sometimes, especially prospects or brand new clients. So you're going to speak to 4 or 5 over time. So you'll get better answers. But just know that that's what you're striving for, because they're helping you with your business, coming up with new ideas, new packages, new services, and things that they need on there. One thing I know is probably rushed through. Make sure you do things like spell HIPAA correctly.
Yeah.
Correct there, not correct there. If you put something out, and this is, I'm not picking on you. This happens all the time. You can easily do a typo. Everything you put out needs to be proofread, because if you put that out spelt like that to a medical practice, your credibility just went
downhill.
Okay,
Because it's
downhill.
spelled correctly.
You'll never get a response. Yeah.
Yeah.
You spelled it correctly here, but it's so easy to make a mistake and things like that. I mean, misspelling associations, not so bad. Misspelling HIPAA,
right,
is, that you've shot yourself in the foot there. So just be careful on those things.
Okay, absolutely.
Again, CMA, join those. You need to know their acronyms as well when you're talking to them, and put it in your marketing message, mainly through insurance, EMRs and emails, Adobe medical billing, KPIs, patient served, time with the patient, specific reason for patient visit. So can you improve some of those KPIs there? Yeah. And cybersecurity is going to be your fastest way in. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
How did you determine that? Was that a question you answered yourself?
Well, the thing is, we asked her a few of these questions, but we kind of had to like jump in and help her too.
Yeah.
We just started onboarding. Like, this is a whole new target market for us. We haven't even we haven't built that relationship.
Okay.
They're not going to tell you the fastest way in. You're going to get all that from their frustrations and KPI. Okay?
Right.
And so it's not always what you expect it to be, which is why we want you to go through the exercise. A lot of times in medical, for example, because it's not HIPAA and cybersecurity, it's actually BDR. In Texas and in Florida, where Eric is, it's BDR, because they could lose their medical license. So if you start asking these questions, you find out a lot of their regulations and things, and then you can put services together. They don't tell me that it's BDR, but they told me that they've got to keep medical records for 14 years or 21 years, 7 years or 21 years if it's a child. And they've got to be audited at any time, and got to keep all this stuff. And well, the best solution for that is BDR. So I go in with, hey, do you want to keep your medical license and not lose it just because you couldn't produce data? Then you need to talk to me now. I haven't mentioned how I'm doing it. I just know that this is a problem or a fear you've got. I have a solution. Come talk to me, and I'll tell you how I can do it for you.
Right. Okay. Thank you for those pointers.
Cool.
Scott,
Scott.
forward to interviewing the doctor.
Scott, you were going. Your target market was in the first half was sort of CPAs, financials, and that type of thing. But then these two, I'm guessing, because they were clients that you could talk to or whatever. This was all around the ISP side of things. Yeah.
On the financial services and ISP side, yes.
Yeah, so we need more on the less about ISPs and more about their business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as you see, I did, I think it's my fault. I didn't send all the questions. I had hangups with sending them 33 questions.
That's fine.
I plucked the ones that I thought were highest value, but yeah.
Yeah, the ones that really are the highest value are a couple of, let me go through this one. So first of all, the big value ones are the 32, 30, 31, and 32. KPIs, frustrations, and fears. Some trends. And then, as you saw in the, in the regulatory, but you saw in the beginning, the 3 to 5 most important factors when they buy in, their beliefs, and their 3 to top events. Some of those things are the key things to there. That all about their business. Where we were seeing with Jim, about his, the staffing stuff here. The 3 biggest frustrations they have with the job and the company. That's a critical one. Okay.
Number 8.
Because number 8. It's not about technology. You see, it's about their business. I'm trying to solve business problems, so they see the benefits of it. I'm not solving technology. I'm using technology to solve business problems, not technology problems. Okay,
right,
they don't know what the
for technology's sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Appreciate it. If I didn't ask those, I'll go back and send those to him. Yeah.
Cool. Kelly, you had yours. Yours was funeral service industry. So good. You don't have a lot of competitors. I'm guessing that focus on this. So that's good. And you had some good questions in here as well. Inconvenience. Felt their business wasn't convenient to the old service provider. Very condescending. Backups were being lost. Priority on how they were being treated. Dignity and respect at all time. Empathy see, this is a funeral home. This is how they talk to their customers. So you can see their frustrations with the provider, because they're very empathetic to their customers. There's a whole different persona, demeanor, and everything, and because that's how they are literally 24/7, how they deal with their clients. They need to be treated that way. You need to literally mirror them. Okay. So
yeah, especially with the messages we send out. Like we talk to them and somebody else where we didn't get an opportunity to do a full sit down with them. We're trying to get a couple more, because even though it's past the deadline, we want to know.
Yeah.
But we found that the empathy thing we've got to figure out how to parlay that into our message. Because they deal with it. I mean, what they deal with, no thanks. I couldn't do that on a daily basis. Give me down servers nonstop.
But again, you don't want your techs going in there all happy and effervescent and hey, come to fix your stuff and how we all do it. And when they're very solemn and so you've got to mirror that. This was gold again. I mean, I see some of these things. There's some great golden nuggets in here. This is why it's so important to have them talk to them, than you try and answer it for them, because you would have come up with some totally different stuff, all to do with technology and nothing to do with being treated and empathy and reliable. There was some other things in here that I saw. Again, what's it going to cost? Level of service? How reliable? Do we have confidence? How long they were down when an event happens? I saw something, maybe it was later on in here as well. Current customer service. One tech says, you don't call me on weekends. These people are 24/7. You don't want rude, condescending. That's everything I don't want to be then. Okay. Yeah. But most people may not have thought that a funeral home was 24/7 and needed that. So again, that you've got to put systems in place to know that. So when you have a target market, when it's really narrow like this, there's some great stuff in here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you've got all the answers to everything you need for a USP, a whole load of packages of services, how to train your team, how to respond to things. He's given you everything here. There's some golden nuggets in here. Again, everything that somebody was going to ask then?
Yeah, Mark, I will give you a chance to get some another drink of orange juice there.
Thank you.
This brings to mind something that I can't remember the name of the client exactly who it was, but they went through an exercise like this. I don't think it was this one, but it was something else, and they found out a lot of what their clients didn't like, you know, and sometimes we try to focus on the things that the clients like. So I suggested to them that they construct an avatar of "Don't be that guy." So they made a "Don't be that guy" avatar, and they worked with the techs and the staff in a couple of sessions listing what are the "Don't be that guy" things that the clients identified, and then they turned to the staff and said, "Are we that guy?" So it's good information to use in several ways. Not just what keeps them up at night and what you can solve, but what you can be better than what they've experienced. So I thought I'd drop that in there. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's all about, as you said, not just what they like, but what they dislike, and don't be that guy. Here's another thing, you know, here, this is another critical one. You got the AFSRB, and they define everything, how a funeral service can operate. I want to be best friends with that guy. Yeah. I want him to have me on speed dial. He will put me into so many businesses because I am going to make their life so easy, and will go out of my way to help those people. And at the same time, I'm going to offer to do speaking events for them, cybersecurity, anything. I'll do, you know, write articles for their publications. I will do everything for these people. Yeah. And they're the ones that are really going to be my salespeople and get me out in front of everyone. Yeah. So he's got, you know, this was another great one. The top 10 to 20 vendors. This question is critical. I know you didn't get 20, but you know, he's got linen people. He's got Kelligan for the water. He's got Batesville for caskets, Imperial Group for caskets. These are for cremation, jewelry, and added. These guys, I'm going to start working with these guys. Can I do JVs with them? Can I help them get more clients and they give me some of their clients? Okay.
All right, I
that's
kicked
why I
myself
want
for
the
not asking
vendors.
that question, Mark. Sorry.
So that's what I'm going to be going to these people. Can I bring you some of my clients? You know, can we do that JV? Can I do a seminar again and bring all you people in, and you have a little booth, and I'll bring all my clients, you bring all your clients, and we'll all have a nice open house. And you know, I can recommend some linen, and I can recommend these people are great people that you can get caskets from, and all those things. Okay, they've got all your clients that you want. Okay, they've got them as clients, and if they say, hey, go to Kelly, he's the expert in this area, he'll look after you, he'll meet all your IT needs. They already know, like, and trust these people. Yeah, especially these more, you know, the linen people are probably specialists in linen, and you know, the caskets are certainly specialists. So again, you know, there's some real gold in here.
I have a question for Kelly.
Sure.
With it, just wondering, I'm just curious, I wouldn't think that they'd be big users of IT, so what's the average seat size or seat number for a funeral home?
These guys are 5 years old. First year they did about 300K. Now they're over 2 million. Their seat size is gone from 3 in an office to they're pushing 12, and they're really down about 3 bodies.
And so
that's not the right wording, but
Yeah, I was good.
they're down 3 people.
Ruthless.
Whoops.
So
Boom, boom.
I'll also mention, Kevin, when I had my MSP, we had one of the top funeral homes here in Denver, and they had like 6, 7 locations, and they had been around for decades and decades. So, and they have kiosks, all these different things you have to learn about. But it was interesting, and having kind of that cachet of a top funeral home company was a good thing too.
Okay.
So Debbie, you're saying it's not a dying vertical.
They're dying to get in, Scott.
That's right. It's a recession-proof industry.
your tagline should be, "We won't be the last guy to let you down."
But so, Rita, I mean, I was looking here, you know, you got your 300, 850, 1.2 million, 2 million last quarter, growing at 11 to 15% now. You know, so Google reviews, can you help them with that? There's solid gold in there, and get a couple more of those type from prospects or other clients, and, you know, you can really put something really well together here.
Yeah.
I've got an update. Are you dying waiting for your IT guy to come service you?
They have a pretty good sense of humor when it comes to funeral jokes, so you can get away with some of that stuff. But they're super empathetic, like very emotional beings in that office. Great people, but you got to be cognizant of that.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be an easy cold call. I'm not going to hang up on you or anything.
Oh no, they're pretty ruthless. You call and you're not already a vendor, they're really not the nicest people to speak to.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because you're taking away from their focus. Like, they're running balls out nonstop. Like, they don't down 3 people. They're in their situation, but most places are similar. It's hard to get embalmers and the likes to come in, I guess. So
yeah, I guess people aren't killing to get into that line of business.
Okay, so we moved on to Preston here. So he's doing dentist, orthodontist. Sorry, not Preston, this is Eric. Eric cheated because his wife is a dentist, and so she answered all these questions for this one. So I know he's got all the good answers here from that. And so you've got a lot of things here. I think I just lost my earphones then. I know. Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. So we've got the industry associations, and we got their languages. They're on Facebook and Instagram. They're doing Care Credit. We got Eaglesoft. We got Dentrix, etc. And a few other things in here. They're afraid of losing their doctor's license, and he's getting in with BDR for that particular reason, as well as VoIP. But BDR is probably the biggest one in here. Preston, Greater Houston, you were doing small to large size law firms. So they want to make sure their employees never have a, I got weird stuff, echoes now. They want to make sure their employees never have an excuse to not be productive, tradition citations. So again, you can do things, provide services, etc. there that will make sure that they are productive, etc. With that. How do they start looking? What are these top 3 to 5 frustrations? It must be something they trust. They're not sure how most of this work or why it's important. What are their beliefs? Just like mechanics, how do I know what you're telling me is true? I'm not educated or savvy enough in this field. They don't understand what they need to do or how to buy and who to trust. So it's all about trust from these people that we're seeing a lot of in these answers. Top 3 to 5 events, Odyssey, continuing education, webinars, legal magazines. So I had a guy, I think he was in Florida, that managed to get one of his training courses or whatever certified by the Florida Bar Association as a continuing education credit. So as part of his MSP, he gave, this was part of his packages solution. Obviously he was charging for it in there, but a lot of people would sign up, and that was part of his USP, because mine has been accredited by the Florida Bar Association as 1.5 continuing education credits that you need per year. So that was one thing there. So you can see when you're talking to these people and they need to go to these things, well, you start putting them on, not just doing it yourself, like he did, but start putting on these continuing education in seminars and webinars for them. Gather the people that can do that, clip the ticket. You know, hey, I'll bring you 20 people. You do your continuing education webinar, give me 10%.
I like that.
So we got continuing education classes, legal software, Texas Bar Association. Do they have their own language? Yes. They're on Facebook and LinkedIn again. They're not web and tech savvy. Here's a couple of things with this. So my case, Clio, Slack, Bankruptcy Pro, again, these things. So can I work with these vendors to get me more people? Can I make these vendors' lives easier? Okay, so I did the same thing. I was talking to Eric before, when with EagleSoft, I had a tier 3 to tier 3 direct tech number. They used to send people to us because excuse me, they used to send people to us because I took away their need to support level 1 and level 2 for them. So we were saving the money because we were doing all the level 1, level 2 on that. So again, that's one way you can look at those things. Can I work with Clio, Needles, Bankruptcy Pro, whatever, to do that? There's still some questions that we're missing, KPIs, etc. What are they most afraid of? So, you know, is cybersecurity the best way to the inroad for you to gain access? I wasn't seeing much in here about cybersecurity in their frustrations or things like that. So that might not be the best way in. You might need to speak to a couple more of them.
They don't know that they need it. That's why.
So how are you going to convince them?
Their main answers were just based on, it was mainly on trust and just not knowing enough about it. But because they don't know enough about it, they don't realize how much they need it. So right. I don't know.
So you're going to have to put it to get them on that. You're going to have to educate them more. So you're going to have a bit of a longer sales process. Okay, instead of a 45-day, it might be a 90-day, because you've got to spend more time educating them initially. But the biggest thing that you've got to convey in all that education is trust. Okay,
yeah, they understand the simplicity of, I want a fast computer and I want everything to work all the time, and I want my printer and my phones and everything to work all the time. But they have a block seeing that they need it on a continuous monthly basis all the time. They just want to call when something goes wrong.
Right. But you want to tell them that they need to, that it's not just that. Oops, excuse me.
Right.
So that's what I said. It's a little bit harder education thing.
No, you're right. I understand.
Okay, I am going to move quickly because we're getting towards the. So whose did I just do? I just did Preston. So Cora, non-profits that you're doing. Problems, technology failure, or need to work more effectively. They have an IT consultant from IT World, have worked with company on development of website apps and communication tool, lots of work and a lot of expertise needed. Top 3 most important factor. Pricing is considered, but reputation and consistent communication is very important. So consistent communication initially, when they're prospect, this is where your drip marketing is going to come in. Okay, because you're going to be consistently communicating in one form or another. So if they see that in your marketing, that automatically moves over that you're going to be doing that as well in the other. Now, I would like some testimonials to say that you also are very good at doing that. Yeah. They believe services are necessary, but feel uncertain for the extent of time. So they got some uncertainty in there. Top 3 biggest frustrations: limited resources, breaking down silos, bringing people together, so not duplicating their business function in a task force model, bring together to identify issues and come together to figure out solutions. So can you help with any of that? Okay. and some of what you're going to learn from Technology Marketing Toolkit, not just in the 12 weeks, but beyond that going on, you can take that to them. You can teach them about some marketing, some communication. Hey, we do a monthly newsletter. Let me put you in touch with somebody, or you provide monthly newsletters for them for these things, you know, to help with their limited resources, but still doing the communication and bringing the community together. Okay. Okay, so you've been coordinating meetings for them to do some of this. Mostly frustration is politics and the laws. It affects how corporations can donate their money. So maybe you can help there, not with the law, obviously, but education or communication in that they can pass on to other companies. You know, the companies that want to donate again with there. Yeah. So we got pretty aware of the services, but always need some education. So you want to move from commodity to innovation here by adding new things. They want office tools, software, and payroll. Education, subcontract, but they collect the info. They outsource to large communities. Tax codes have a big impact. Tax code on transportation cat. You can deduct MBT. Or would have to pay that tax. New law says now. So you can talk about some of these things. You might not be able to do much about it, but if you start talking about it, they know that you know their frustrations, their industry. Again, you want to be part of. You want them to view you not as an IT company, but as one of them that can do IT for them.
Right.
Tax laws again, you know, whether you can help with any of this, I don't know. They go to South by Southwest, they go to these events, you want to be in those places, okay? You want to certainly start working with these people, doing publications, doing education as well, so that your name gets out there. See if you can do anything with the vendors. Certainly, again, belong to their associations. KPIs and grants must prove deliverables, reach how people serve, watch increase in access to healthcare and graduation rates. So as I said before, I had one person had specialized in nonprofits, and grants is always the thing that comes up. So he actually hired a person on staff that was awesome and proven at getting, you know, at applying for grants and getting and successfully doing it.
Who did he give them to?
Sorry?
That sounds like a great idea, but when he wrote those grants, did he just pick up a client and say, here, I got you this grant?
Well, no, they worked with certain companies. He hired an experienced person, whether it was a lawyer or an ex-lawyer or somebody that was sort of self-contracting that had done it before, but then but he hired this person full-time on staff to do that. Now, you could go out and find somebody and do that as a referral.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Cool. And so they're afraid of reduction of funding and what's the fastest. So some of the things, you know, like the tech soup and those type of things, possibly ways to get in and just providing services to keep their costs low. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Greg, yours didn't come up for some reason, and I tried to reprocess, so you'll have to redo yours. Although, didn't you do yours at the top? Yeah, you did. So we're done, Greg's. Can't have two goes. Sam, I know you're doing yours. And then Gary was late to the party, so I've not looked at this at all. Okay, so what will the costs be? Reachability, fast service, trustworthiness. Their biggest frustrations, not enough time of the day, more business, simplify things, some automations. What are we getting? So we got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. How do they get paid? By the clients, charge up front. Okay, something's gone wrong with my headset, I'm afraid.
We can hear you, Mark.
KPIs, case profitability, types of cases versus profit, competitors underbid and don't do good work. What are they most afraid of? Death, the owner dies. What's this target market? I've lost audio, sorry.
Legal. This one is criminal law, but we're small, medium legal. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Gary. I think Mark's having audio issues on his end.
Mark, maybe you should have someone look at that. There's some text online that can help you out.
I've lost audio and my speakers are not working on my Mac.
You're back now.
Mark, we can hear you. Mark? Hello, Mark. Rich, do you want to say anything since you're on? I know you have to go in a minute or so.
Well, I have some good recommendations here for a tech to help Mark fix that up.
Hey, Rich, I have a question.
Yeah, you got it?
The webinar you guys did on Friday at lunch, the how-to series with the MSP that was going over his whole marketing plan.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Does anybody have a link? Was that recorded? I had multiple conference calls and I weaved in and out, but what I saw had huge value, and I really would like to.
It's always recorded, Scott.
It was really good.
It was posted, so you just have to go to the training tab and then go down to how-to series or whichever, training call, and then you go to the archives tab and it's there.
Cool, easy peasy, thank you.
Did he ever provide any like sample templates of the spreadsheet?
No, he did not.
It looks like he put a ton of work into that.
Right?
Yep.
He did.
Okay. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you all now. Right. Something happened to my headset. Okay, so let me go back. So I think we covered everybody on there. There's quite a few people I noticed did not post homework. Okay, so for whatever reason, we've got to get your homework done. These things are critical. You can see from some of the examples that we covered, some of the answers here. These things are really, really critical for the foundation of your business moving forward, to build you that competitive edge, give you that competitive advantage, and just being able to grow, charge more, produce more products and services, and have testimonials to go with that. Which leads me on nicely, nice little segue to the homework for next week. Debbie's already posted it, so you can see it here. What's the toolkit lesson on testimonials and case studies? Post one raw dough testimonial and your rework. So Mark has got these are the raw dough. Okay, so you can see the 3 answers to the questions here. That's the raw dough. And then Mark has posted his rework straight underneath it. Okay, we don't want it in attachments. We don't want it in Word documents or anything else. Just post your raw dough and then your rework, preferably you want a headline and then the rework. If you can do that, that means that Rich can come along. He can copy and paste all these. He's got to spend this weekend going over them and looking at rewrites and giving you all that information back to help you. So please make it easier by just doing it in one like this. This was a good one. So easy for him to cut and paste the whole thing out into his Word document. When Rich does the rewrites, we'll be showing his document, his rewrites next week on the call. He actually sometimes makes changes on the fly, and then we post that to the resources at the end of the call as well. So Rich's rewrites of your rewrite will be available to you at the end of the call. But get one Rodo testimonial, only one, please, per person. One Rodo testimonial and the rewrite with it, and get those in there to the dashboard. Just post into the comment, please. But if you can have that by Friday, this Friday, 5 p.m. Central, because there's a lot of work that Rich has got to do this between now and the call. So he's going to be working over the weekend, and he's traveling on Monday, so he's going to be doing things there as well. But that's the homework for next week. And if you haven't, post your also keep posting and your target market worksheet phase 2, and get out and start talking to more prospects. You really do want about five plus from prospects or clients. So keep going. It's a work in progress, but you've seen the power, or you've seen the nuggets of gold that you can get from one person. So can you imagine what you can get from 5 people? It's really going to help make a huge difference to your business and the platform and the foundation that you're going to be leading your marketing with. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
Mark, could I have 5 minutes with you afterwards, if possible?
Yeah, sure.
And Mark, I really think it's high value. I don't think I got it as much last call. I think I'm going to work this into a regular exercise, maybe once every month or 2, with getting feedback from them.
It is. And you know, that's part of doing the QBRs, not answering all 33 questions, but just topping up those answers all the time. You know, especially the trends, the frustrations, those type of things. Okay, so you're always looking for more things that you can help with.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case,
Have a
I
quick
will
question.
see you all. Oh, yeah, sorry.
What if we ask businesses that aren't our clients? Could we ask these questions?
Yes, yeah, prospects, certainly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, gang. Thank you.
Yeah.